I can hear you again. All right, so let's just dive straight in.
All right, so three, time willing, three quick things just to hop on today. First of all, is it the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, also saying that Africa accounted for just 1% of additional renewable energy investments in 2022. So the number was really low. In the UK, the Competition Markets Authority, the CMA, is taking another look at Amazon's proposed $1.7 billion purchase of iRobots. And Tesla, there's been some spying issues there where Tesla employees have been sharing personal videos of Tesla owners. The cars come with cameras, I guess, for recording purposes and so on. But there were a few embarrassing moments where the employees unfortunately started sharing pictures, private pictures of people in their cars. So we'll see how quickly we can get through. The renewable energy thing, to start with that, how we have power issues here in Nigeria, but I think it's just renewable energy is expensive. Fisayo, what do you think as far as the low investments that we've seen in Africa for renewable energy?
Yes, I mean, I think it's following all the consistent themes, right? So it's not just about renewable energy alone. Africa is the lowest when it comes to just VC type investment. Africa is the lowest when it comes to private equity investment. Of course, that's simple because Africans are not putting their money where their mouth is. I don't think Dangote or Otedola are LPs in any fund today, right? And that's how ecosystems grow everywhere in the world. There are people put their money, they have a family office that puts their money behind a private equity or a venture capital fund or a renewable energy fund, right? So that's how everyone happens. That's how everything happens, right? But when Africa's billionaires are not used to this alternative investment, asset classes outside of, say, traditional stock markets and maybe bond buying and other forms of investment, that's what you see. So it means that we have to depend on on foreign LPs, limited partner, to invest in your venture fund or your venture capital firms, and who then invest in African startups or African renewable energy companies, right? So to solve this problem means that African capital has to be involved in developing or investing in Africa, but that's not happening today. All right, until that continues starts happening, I don't think that anything will change in the foreseeable future. I mean, that's my short point on that. And of course, generally around renewable energy, again, it's also consistent with the fact that Africa contributes the least when it comes to carbon emissions globally, right? So it only makes sense that the people that need to focus more on renewable energy are getting the capital needed to do that, because I am not going to change my ways, right? Because I don't contribute as much compared to what you guys contribute. Even though, yes, we recognize that Africa might be the most affected or receive some of the adverse effects of climate change, as it were, right? But the biggest contributors are not in Africa. They're in China, they're in the US, they're in other developed markets, because that's what industrialization does, right? So those are the other issues. But outside of that, I think it just follows the constant themes.
But Fisayo, just real quick, I know I have to quickly jump to the next topic. To be fair to an Otedola, he's put a lot of money into renewable power. To be fair to a Dangote, he's put so many billions in the refinery. Can we expect them to invest in everything?
No, you can't expect them to invest in everything. No, nobody's expecting them to invest in everything. And of course, to be fair to Bill Gates, he has put so much money in vaccines. To be fair to him, he has put so much money in Microsoft. To be fair to him, he has put more. So everyone has put so much money everywhere, but it still creates opportunities or investment, in other asset classes, and that's what it is, right? So I guess that it's just these questions around: do African LPs understand, or African billionaires, do they understand, alternative asset classes, as it were? In fact, I've heard the story of a certain African billionaire that committed capital to a fund, right? And then when they make capital call, like, no, I've used the money to go and do something. What I want to build a refinery. right? So
I guess,
they didn't honor the capital call because like oh, I think I'm going to give you money. Sorry, I've used the money because I need it somewhere else. You know, and this kind of nonsense that happens, right?
Yeah.
In Africa, right? So it's not the best way to live essentially.
Gotcha. Well, point well made.
I'm sorry. One more thing, right? You see, I saw that Nigeria. You know, we discussed it maybe 2 weeks ago about Nigeria having maybe some $500 million fund for startups. I mean, it doesn't make sense that a country is competing with private sector. They should have put that money and back other emerging or established fund managers in Nigeria to invest. I spoke to someone in Norway. He's Norwegian. I was like, okay. That what the government did at the time in Norway to spur growth in investment is that they guaranteed LPs a certain minimum returns to say that you're going to earn this return if you invest in a Norwegian fund manager, and that's what happened. So it means that for LP thinking about, they're calculating the return that they're going to get because government has guaranteed a certain level of return to them if they invested in a fund manager. That's how to support investment. Not that you are raising money to compete with private individuals that don't have access to $500 million to invest in startups in Nigeria. I mean, I think that doesn't make any sense. I don't think those to be successful, but again, the jury is out on that.
Well said. On the matter of the Competition Markets Authority, I guess in the UK, scrutinizing this Amazon deal of buying iRobot, I guess to just want to make sure the playing field is level.
Well, the playing field is level. Amazon doesn't have a vacuum cleaner. I mean, UK, it's like Europe, because between UK and Eurozone, they just like exporting regulations. That's what they're known for, rather than create value. They just like to export regulation, export privacy. I mean, they exported NDPR everywhere. I mean, GDPR everywhere. Now they're thinking more around competition and anti-competition type law. So it's I don't know. Let them look at what they want to look at. I don't think there's any big problem in Amazon trying to buy a vacuum cleaning company, right? We'll see what they come up with. But again, it's what it is. We just wait and see, I guess.
And then what about privacy again? Coming to every time, I think privacy always seems to come up when we talk about tech now. So we've got this issue with Tesla, the Tesla employees that were sharing pictures and videos of Tesla owners, some of them in very compromised positions. I hear a man was walking to his car naked, for instance, which maybe he forgot something in the car and he wanted to quickly run and collect something from it. But what do you make of it? Look, do we have to accept that privacy is gone as technology makes more inroads?
I mean, I guess that with advanced technology comes, more privacy invasions, right? And that's what it is. If you want something to be smarter for you, you have to give up a lot of things. Amazon Homes, there are things around your smartphones listening to you, and there are things around your your Siri, all of these smart home systems listening and watching. There are things around Ring, your doorbell or your door, access controls, watching and listening, recording your neighbor. There are just many things that happen. So it's not just about Tesla. Of course, if you want self-driving cars, you need cameras. That's what it is. It's not like So the more you want things to be technologically driven, the more privacy or the more evasive it gets, into your private life, into the things you normally do, right? So, and those are critical things that we need to recognize that that's what the world is getting to. But you don't have to give consent because a Tesla car is driving by me, is recording me, right? So it's not about me again because it is the world that we live in. So people need to just figure out how to adjust, or we don't want that again. Or similar to the way, Elon Musk and a few other people have been shouting that, okay, well, we need to stop the development of AI, just nip it in the bud today. That's the only thing you can do. Okay, stop self-driving cars, remove all cameras from cars. I mean, I want to go back to year 2000, right? Where, it's what it is it's the best you get is automatic, transmission, not manual again, but all these fancy ideas of you want self-driving cars, that will move park by itself. has to go out of the window, completely, right? But if you want to continue to have advanced technology, then it means that something has to give, and that is privacy. But the part that's paining me most is that people that give consent to privacy, the owners of the cars, versus people that are just doing their normal business on the road, right, are all victims of this same privacy invasion. And I think that that's the world that we live in today. There's little or nothing you can do about that.
Thanks, Fisayo. Zibby, what do you think? Are you going to cede your privacy, Zibby, to machines?
I'm really worried about that. I mean, talking about that man walking to his car naked, that is really creepy, because sometimes you just want to dash in and dash out, right? So I don't think I would be willing to give up my privacy completely. So I'll just stick to driving myself. Thank you, Tesla.
I get that. I don't have any messages. Fisayo, thanks for your insight. Always appreciate it a lot.
None at the moment. So what are your social media handles?
Yes, so Fisayo, give yours out. Mine, everybody knows mine. Go ahead.
Fisayo.
There you go. Fisayo. You guys follow. And then Rotankwot, of course, ROTANKWOT. So you follow us and let's continue the conversations there.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Ogene Chuko, thanks for your message. And thanks, Rotus and Fisayo, for being with us this morning. Do you stay with us? There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.